We got one that can see. You ever seen the movie They Live? Check it out. Roddy Piper. They Live. Look it up. Watch it. Though it's a sci-fi movie, it's not so science fiction. Remember, what's the saying? Hello, Heather. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Robert. Hello, everyone. What is the saying? Fiction is greater than truth. Truth is greater than fiction. Whatever that saying is. It does apply here. That's for shiznage. Welcome to Center of Light. Tonight, awaken and see. They live. Sounds far-fetched, I know. A year and a half ago, COVID-19 was far-fetched. If I told you COVID was coming, you'd say no way. I did say it. In fact, I said it January 31st, 2019. Tomorrow, beginning of the new year, tomorrow meaning soon into the new year, your life is going to change. All of our lives have changed in a beautiful, powerful way. Tonight, we are speaking about others. Make no mistake, others do exist. I've been hanging around them for many, many years in sleep states of consciousness, as well as physical, open-eyed reality. This is the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Life exists on every frequency, bandwidth, level, possibility, reality. Hello, Mary. Whatever you want to call it, life exists everywhere. The universe is not, let me say this even more accurately. The universe is not teeming with life. The universe is life, and it's happening everywhere on every level. So, we come to Earth, started off as a mud ball. It's still a mud ball, a beautiful one at that. And many, however many upon many, hundreds of thousands, millions of years, billions of years. I also said that the Earth was about 13 and a half, maybe 14 billion years old. And I looked it up, and they were correct in that sense. Speaking to these God-realized avatars, I said that is not correct. It is 13 and a half to 14 billion years old. So we've graduated from billions of years until this time, space, place, location, locale. Life is everywhere. It is life. You are the it. You are the human. You are the extraterrestrial. You are the celestial. You are the angelic. The Great Fall, you know the story, or somewhat know the story of the Great Fall. And Lucifer, Satan, many different names, Diablo, the devil, fell from the grace of God. Metaphor or not, in a way that we can understand and digest properly, and to manipulate it, if you will, into a usable fashion to graduate through the nonsense of it all, is the story. And in the story, on the other side, is the glory. Sometimes it takes the gory to get us to where we need to be as workers of light, to process, transform, transmute illusion. Mind you, that illusion is very real when you're in it. No matter how you skin it, those illusions are real. Many years ago, one of my first popular bands, I wrote a song called Images of Illusions, going through my brain, images of illusions driving me insane. Images of illusions, I don't know who to blame. It's all real when you're in it. Has the earth been infiltrated? Excuse me. Has the earth been infiltrated by others? Pro and con. Donna and Don. You're one of them. Of the higher celestial nature. If that's your nature. There are those who have come to the earth to squash the whole divine plan. Who are those they? Those they, or those who fell from grace. Hello, Bo. Hello, Vicky. Those who fell from grace are not done falling continuously, but they are still causing vexation in this world. Who are the they? They can look like you and me, but you can bet your sweet bip E that no matter what they look like, they are influenced by another consciousness. And that other consciousness is what is holding the veil in place. It's not out of blame. The veil is very purposeful to give us the experience of coming from divinity into this human guise, garb experience, to bore holes through said veil, and this planet will begin to illuminate. This is the earth when we're clear. And when we bore holes through the illusion, the light of God in your heart begins to do this. That's why you're here. But there are those who do not want the divine plan to happen. They don't care about their own divinity. They're just simply satisfied with earthly thrones. They don't care. You can go have a whole country to yourself. That's fine. I just want a little piece. My own little piece, and I can do what I want with it. They don't care about the all of it. In fact, they don't care about any of us. How can you identify said being who is under the influence of an extraterrestrial low vibrational race? How do you identify such an individual, as well as groups with large agendas? It's easy. I'm just going to remind you of something you already know. The they are the those who have agendas that buck the divine will of a unified humanity. Those who go against the grain of a unified humanity are those, not necessarily they're conscious of being one of them, but they are heavily influenced and they don't even know it. Sounds strange? Good. COVID-19 was very strange just a bit ago. We're going to be speaking about also tonight. I have a video for you. It's about 30 minutes that will reveal the they. I also have another video for you that is going to demonstrate, reveal. It's true. It's absolutely true. You know, that's many years ago. I've been talking about an alien invasion for years. That's Keith. That's Keith. Keith's a good guy, but that's Keith. Project Bluebeam. What is Project Bluebeam? We're going to get to that. I've been saying this for years. Center of light, awaken and see. We got one that can see. How do you identify those who are of an alien, dark alien agenda? They do not want to share and happen a unified humanity. They don't. It's exactly what they don't want. This planet belongs to every human being. Not extraterrestrials, good or bad, happy or sad. It belongs to the human, you, me, Mexican, Italian, Russian, Danish, Canadian, Indie, Hindi. Belongs to these people. So anything that is divinity is pro-united humanity. Anything else that is opposed, it needs to goes. This is how you play the game. This presentation is not to make you afraid. Oh my God, Keith. You can take that posture whether I sit here and tell you something or not, or whoever it is telling you something. Wow, that was an amazing piece of lightning. Please, dear Lord, protect my computer. And those who fudge the system are extraterrestrial, or at least extraterrestrial influenced. Ooh, I love some thunder, but there it is. Reptilians on Earth, draconians. Maybe they're not reptilian or draconian at all, but that is the picture, the model that is most useful because it identifies with certain scripture: the devil, scales, pitchfork, tail, lizard-like, snake-like. Let's use reptilians. Draconians, dragons, same idea. Fire, 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 hellfire. Before I keep moving forth, I want to say welcome to Center of Light. Tonight is Center of Light, Awaken and See. They live. Homecoming Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, my new bestseller. You can purchase it on Amazon. The link is in these forums at the very beginning. Check it out. If you've read it, I'm asking you, please go to that same link, hyperjump to the Amazon.com universe, and leave me a review if you would. Also, I started, yes, Kelly, so many labels. I recently started a new project, which is Engage. Ignite your power. It's a subconscious subliminal program. I'm interested, Keith. I'm going to give you a sample. I'm interested, Keith. When you hear it, I suggest you put headphones on. It's not required, but it is strongly kissing you on your face. This one's very general, but I will make one for you personally. I'll use your name if you choose. Speak to your subconscious when you sleep. It'll be many hours long while you sleep. Your subconscious absorbs it like a sponge, follows command, or I can give you a 2-hour one for a meditation, whatever it is you need. You can give me some programs, some implants that you want for yourself, or you can let me do it, a little bit of both. We can talk about find your life partner, sleeping, helping to sleep, financial abundance in every area of my life in ways I never thought possible, so forth. And I can make it a mixture of these, whatever it is you choose. Let me grab this link for you now. I love drones. By the way, I get my equipment tomorrow to start recording an album. Yay! I was going to get it today, but I had to deposit a check into the account. So I'm going to start recording probably this weekend. I am now dropping a link to my new program, Subconscious Reprogramming. Listen to it tonight when you go to bed. Headphones if you can. Meditation. Enjoy it. My gift to you. Let me know if you are interested in a subconscious reprogramming. Robert, I did not forget about you, my brother. Hello, Pam, Arena, Dana. Hello, everyone. I made one for Dana as well as Rena. Ladies, please feel free to leave a report here, a credit, or not a credit, but your support if it worked for you. If not, I will redo it. Whatever it takes to make you enjoy what belongs to you. That what you had to give it. So everyone tonight, center of light, awaken and see. Awaken and see what? It's all around. They live on every possible level. Who are the they? Anything that's other than you. When the truth is, there is nothing other than you. This is an error in the monkey mind. No, this is an error in the mind, which is the monkey. Nonetheless, you spiritual junkie, you still got to ride this boat. You ain't at the shore yet. Hallelujah. Michael rowed the boat ashore. You still battling. You may be one who has learned to not be so efforting. Fantastic. But the game has to be played out to the end. And this is just the beginning. Let me see what we have here. So please feel free to use that link I just sent for subconscious reprogramming. I'm going to play you a piece of music by my dear friend from Grand Theft Audio, my last project. I'm dropping his link in here now, as I told him I would. Some amazing music of his. Hello, Marina Govier. She says, good evening. Recording again, nice. Yes, I'm coming back. So let me find the song by Danny Childress I want to play. And we're going to come back, chat with you just a little more, and we're going to get into the videos of tonight's presentation, which is the they that was told years ago, maybe in the 90s, and it's all happened. It's all happened. That's going to last about 30 minutes. Get you some popcorn, made during the song break, go TT or tutu, whatever you got to do, and come back, get you some water. Speaking of water, I love my Fiji. Come back, watch this video, and then I'm going to show you another video about Project Bluebeam. What is it? Can you believe the technology is there? We've all seen the video when a killer whale simply magically appears and breaches out of a basketball court. That wasn't CGI. That was projection of light. Projecting. A projector in midair. I've had dream experiences many years ago. Often back then. I would look at the sky, and the sky was a screen for things to be written on. Those they want to keep you away from the good they. They want to keep you at bay. So Project Bluebeam, in one aspect, is to project onto the sky a simulated alien invasion. Why would they do such a thing? Good question. It's happening now. People are seeing things everywhere. Things that are not normal to this world. And then the first thought is, well, CGI. I get it. There's some good CGI out there. Hello, Star Wars. I'm talking about something other than CGI. It's not CGI fake to where they're faking the film after it was recorded. What they are recording is the projection into the sky, and that's what's coming out on film or in the video. Fake an alien invasion. Why? Because the good they, when we say we're ready, our free will, and this has been happening already. The bad they don't want us to have that experience, to have us having help from another race of being to help us ascend. So the best way to keep you from it is to scare the living out of you, so you never go near it. to manipulate you. So you don't want it. You're scared to death of it. So another thing about Project Bluebeam, I am not bucking or, what's the word I'm looking for? Blaspheming the Bible. In fact, it's just in full support. They talk about the second coming of Christ. I know it is. It's real. It's here. In fact, I know it is. The consciousness as well as the man and the men are here. So that's real. Now, whether it speaks about the clouds parting, Christ appears, and the trumpeting of angels, I don't doubt that either. But another aspect of stories foretold about Project Bluebeam is to have the sky light up by projecting this image of a divine being. It may start off all love and light, and slowly the manipulation happens. The point is, others are doing lots of things, and it requires you to do one thing for sure, and that's to be absolutely still and look. I got one that can see. See what I'm saying? It sounds creepy. It is creepy. But don't stay sleepy. You gotta wake up. So this is not about blame, shame, or game on anyone or group. It's our responsibility to become the illumined ones. It's just starting. We're still in a period of rest. 2020 gave us a punch right in the solar plexus, a kick in the balls, a blow to the heart, a chop in the throat. We felt it, didn't we? We're still feeling it. But we've collected our breath, at least, for round 2. We still got some years ahead of us to ride out this redonkulousness and hold the light. Stay the course. Tonight is Center of Light, Awaken and See. They live. Danny Childress, my bro. Clockmaker. Perfect idea of a song. Love it so much, man. See you shortly. You are a sexy human being. I got one that could see. Do you believe it? You don't have to believe it. Like I said earlier, this is not to frighten you. It's to empower you with something that is the truth. It is not the truth that makes people afraid. It's their ignorance of it. This is to empower you so you know how to best seat, plant, and anchor yourself on greater levels of nonsense and tomfoolery and balderdash begin to unfold and unravel right in front of your face. And it will be alien to you because it's something you're not used to. Last night I did a presentation on crossing the border. I used a Taco Bell reference to talk about the crisis at the border. And they call these people illegal aliens. What a racist remark. A racist title. Illegal. Calling human beings illegal. Even the good-natured souls trying to find a better life. I'm not saying you should open the border or not. I'm just bringing the truth to the fore. Calling them illegal and then calling them aliens as if you don't belong on the planet. Not only are you legit, you don't belong here. Get out. Those are the ones. Those are the they. The one not aligned with the will of spirit, but they have their own agenda. And that's to keep you divided. How do you invade a world? Let me tell you. You jack with the water supply, the food, you don't show up in a spaceship and start wreaking havoc. My brother Rican on YouTube, he's going to be in Center of Light Radio really soon. A couple of weeks, I believe. I will let you know. Check him out. He's got some powerful paranormal stories to tell you. While I'm thinking about it, Rican, maybe you can give me some video. Make a good point for the interview. They don't show up in spaceships to invade a world. It's the last thing they want to do. Why? Because it will unite the world. There's no longer a boundary. Mexico, United States, England, and the rest of Europe, and all this influx of people. And those are the ones who are creating the division. You don't invade a world and be successful by showing up in spaceships, because that would bring the borders themselves will come down. Because we're contacting every Mexican, Canadian, Russian scientist, militarized people to say, we have to unite. So how do you invade a world? You put them against each other and let them delete each other while they sit back and watch. I got one that can see while they sit back and watch. Remember, this has been going on a long time. Well, Keith, who is interested in an agenda that only lasts their lifespan, you know? These beings live thousands of years. They're good at manipulating time and taking your time to do it. So you put the people against themselves. And basically, your deal with humanity now, as you get this agenda going, is simply one of these. Hey, honey, what do you want to watch on TV tonight? And they just change the channel. Click, click, click. And they're watching you laughing because to them, it's a comedy. They're watching a comedy series called Humans, Dumb Humans on Earth. Doesn't mean everyone or targeting anyone on any level of life, which is the universe itself. It is alive. The chair you're sitting on is alive. You hearing my words are because you are alive. I'm able to speak them because I am alive. The food you eat, even the dead food, is live. It's life. It might be denser, but everything is life. If nothing was connected to the generator of life itself, nothing could exist. So everything is sustained by the eternal word Om. Oh. It's an endless stream of consciousness. There's light there. There's sound there. There's bliss there. Jesus is there. Your deceased loved ones are there. Tonight is Center of Light. Awaken and see. And it's not one of these kinds of hard looks. Just step back from your humanity for a moment and fall into the ever-present divinity, which is you at every moment, and see. Just open up and look, and you will see that there's an anti-human agenda being pushed. I'm tired of being pushed. Lovingly, sometimes fiercely, I am pushing back. Our first video tonight is going to be about 30 minutes. I'm going to be here for a while. I love what I do. Do you love what you do? Do what you love. Stop making it so alien. Let's see what's the first one I'm going to play. 30 minutes. Get your water now, whatever you're going to do. Use the bathroom. This comes out of the 90s, I believe. It is so relevant to today. I will see you shortly. I had this issue last night. 1 second, I'm gonna get this video. It's worth it. Be right back. Enjoy. Welcome, Center of Light. Why are you not playing? You did this last night, but we're gonna fix that. I'm looking for. One moment. I'm gonna go away for a second. I had this issue last night. 1 second. I'm gonna get. Give me a second. Where do I need to go? This one. I'll be right back.
This is Trevor Coppola for Anthony J. Hilder. I'm with Deborah Tavares, and we're going to discuss a few topics here.
Thank you so much for the interview. I appreciate the opportunity. One of the things that we want to talk about is what we were discussing a little bit ago, and that is the significance of this NASA war document that was found on the NASA website, and the need to urgently get this out in front of as many people as possible because of the content of this document.
So was this document available to everyone, or this was on their actual website and someone found it?
That is correct. It was on the NASA website, and it was a document that actually is a PowerPoint presentation by Dennis Bushnell, the chief NASA scientist at the Langley Center. and it was presented in 2001, July of 2001, just a few months before 9/11. And what brought my attention to it and immediately rang some uncomfortable realizations was when we first came across it. It says on the website, Future Strategic Issues, Future Warfare circa 2025. And as I decided to just flip through it quickly to see what it was about, I was a little stunned on page 4. It said, the presentation is based in all cases upon existing data, trends, analysis technologies, no pixie dust. And the entire premise of the document, or the PowerPoint, is about robots, cyborgs, and humans. So I immediately saw a conflict between future and now. And I thought, what are they covering up? Because that was a definite cover-up. And then I started to continue looking through the document with shock. And that's why we're talking right now, because I think most people would be shocked to find on page 93.
So who wrote this NASA document, and was this intentional? Did they want the public to see this, do you think? Or?
Well, again, the Illuminati, the most wealthy, rich men on the face of the planet, always telegraph everything that they're going to do. So the fact that it was on the NASA website, it was certainly available to the public, but did they see it? Obviously not. Because had they looked at this document, you would know about it right now, and we don't. And that's the purpose of this discussion, is for people to know about this document. Again, the conflict between the future and the fact that they said it was a current reality in 2001 of July when this was actually presented. And what it said, which was quite shocking, on page 93, it said, capture, torture Americans in living color on prime time. And that is an unbelievable statement. Then it's followed up by saying terror attacks within the continental United States using binary biologicals take down critical infrastructure. They are going to use an EMP, which is an electromagnetic pulse. They're going to use radiation frequencies against our brains, etc., and conduct serious psy-war and collateral damage and exploitation. On this same page 93, they say exploit CNN syndrome. Now, CNN, of course, is the network, the news media network, propaganda machine, and was set up by the CIA. You can watch the movie called Psy-War on stopthecrime.net for all the background information on CNN. Very, very interesting information. Then you go on and you read that on page 66, they say increasingly critical are human limitations and human downsides. Humans are too large, humans are too heavy, too tender, humans are too slow, both physically and mentally, and we require huge logistical trains, meaning we cost way too much money to maintain. And
I am pausing this on purpose. Did you notice she's reading this document from NASA about the future or the agenda? She said humans. She didn't say the people or people. She said humans, as if it's from a third person point of view, calling us humans. What about, why not say everybody or people around the world? She's literally saying humans.
Humans have rapidly decreasing to negative value. Can you even believe this? I mean, you're hearing this, and it's got to be rather shocking coming off of a NASA website, particularly when some of the agencies that are involved are the U.S. Air Force, DARPA, the CIA, the FBI, Southern Command, Atlantic Command, Australian Department of Defense, and other agencies. This is the corporation's agencies. We are USA Inc. We're no longer under a constitution as proclaimed in the Iron Mountain Report, which everyone should read. On stopthecrime.net, you can download it not only as the document, but you can watch the documentary, which I highly recommend. You will see how the stealth and deceptive, incrementally positioned attacks upon the Constitution have rendered us now a corporation. And we no longer have a legitimate government. We are being controlled by corporations and banks that are posing as a legitimate government, and they're not. We wouldn't have a legitimate government with the war machine stating what they were going to do on the continental United States to all the people. And this is not just in the United States. This is a global planned attack and assault with technologies beyond most people's comprehension. Everyone is buying books and guns and ammunition, and they don't realize that the beam weapons, for example, on page 45, beam weapons increasingly prevalent. This is how they're going to attack. They talk also about, on page 9, this is very interesting and horrifying. Humans have taken over and vastly shortened evolution. They're going to direct evolution. They believe, the bankers, the global elites, believe that they have accomplished immortality. And they're doing that, again, keeping in mind that this entire document is about robots, cyborgs, and humans. They've already mapped our brains. We've just recently heard that they can transfer a human brain into machinery. So whenever they tell us that this is a new scientific discovery, we know it's been decades and decades prior to us ever finding out about these things. And they also talk about microdust as a weapon. They say that this micron-sized mechanized dust, which is distributed as an aerosol and inhaled into the lungs, the dust mechanically bores into the lung tissue and executes various pathological missions. They say it's a completely new type of warfare, and it is legal. It's legal. This is what they're going to do to all the humans on the face of this planet. It's all legal. And then they talk about how the use of frequencies will be used in warfare. And we know, for example, the smart meters that are being deployed around the globe, the replacement of our electric meters, which will also and does include the replacement of all of our gas meters and our water meters as well, and will be connected to our food supply when they collapse the currency and they issue energy allowances, and that will all be controlled through the metering system. But they talk about the use of low frequencies, microwave frequencies, and they mention in this NASA document the U.S. Army report. The U.S. Army report is on our website, smartmetersmurder.com. It's about a 20-page Army document that talks about the use of frequencies to target the enemy. We're the enemy. And they say 100% of the human population will be affected by these frequencies. Some will be the canaries in the coal mine, which is a term that they've been using as people have been dropping like flies. People are experiencing all kinds of health maladies. Generally, it starts with ringing of the ears, heart palpitations, skin rashes, inability to sleep through the night. And what they're doing is they're jamming our immune systems with these frequencies.
So how do the elite shield themselves?
Did she just say jamming our immune systems with these frequencies? Remember, this is the 1990s. Bruh. Wow.
Weapons.
Well, that's a really good question. And some of the information that we've come across is, of course, they have methods far ahead of anything that we have available to ourselves, such as cancer cures. They don't get cancer. There's chip mechanisms that we understand can fend off certain frequency attacks. We also know that they're interested in transhumanism. So much of what they're doing globally, they're interested in. And to what extent they're affected by all of the chemtrails and all of the nanofibers that are being dropped, which is phase 1 of the first protocol. It all lines up. Everything lines up. You connect the dots. You see the NASA war document. Not only does it talk about the effects of frequencies and how it will be used, they acknowledge that it will interfere with our performance, that it will cause seizures. They acknowledge this in this document. It is no longer a debate about smart meters. We don't need any more scientists or doctors saying people are getting sick. This is the intention. So we have to stop looking for more verifiable proof that people are becoming sick. This is the goal. This is the absolute goal. It's incarceration, it is enslavement, and it is depopulation, and it is massive mind control. The frequencies have multiple purposes.
What do you think the solution is to all of this multi-level attack that's been going on for a very long time?
Well, I think the solution is that people need to become educated as rapidly as possible. And there are documents that are, for example, the Silent Weapons Quiet Wars document. It's a 41-page document. It's on our website. This lays out, it's an operations, research, and technical manual. This document was the 1954 Bilderberg policy at the first Bilderberg meeting. And this laid out the strategy to control the human population. And again, I can't stress enough that everyone should read this, because they talk about how they talk about that this document should not be released to the people because it is a declaration of war.
You can't keep fighting fires. You have to go after the arsonists. And that's what you're pointing out, is the people that are responsible. And everything we see out there, what they're spraying and why are they spraying, nobody's talking about the conspiracy itself. This is a war against the people, and this, you've got a hold of those specific people, and that's why that's valuable. They're killing us.
That's exactly right. And this is their war plan. This is the war plan. So we have to go to the war plan. This is only 41 pages. You take out the diagrams and you've got 36 pages. And it's not hard to read. They say that it's the silent weapon technology has evolved from operations research, a strategic and tactical developed under the military management in England during World War II. The original purpose of this research was to study strategic and tactical problems of air and land defense with objective effectiveness used in initiated military resources against foreign enemies. And they go on to talk about how they came across technologies that they had. Oh, in 1952, the grant period terminated and the high-level meeting of the elite was held to determine the next phase of the social operations research. The Harvard project had been very fruitful, as is borne out by the publication of some of the results in 1953, suggesting the feasibility of economic engineering, studies of structure of the American economy. And they talk about how it was engineered in the last half of the 1940s. The new quiet war machine stood, so to speak, in sparkling gold plated hardware on the showroom floor by 1954. So this document talks about a combination of irresistible attacks upon humanity and how they will control humanity. Politically, they talk about how they set up the political system, right and left, so that we would feel our grievances were aired and our frustrations could come out. But the bankers were behind everyone who was elected, and they laugh at us. They laugh at us. The very, very last, and I'll go to this right now because we'll come back to the document itself, but the very last statement in this document, it says, Factor 6, cattle. Those who will not use their brains are no better off than those who have no brains. And so this mindless school of jellyfish, father, mother, son, and daughter, become useful beasts of burden, or trainers of the same. So what they say in this document is they will dole out poisonous foods. It's not what we need, but it's what we want, and those that decide to eat these foods will have the consequences of that. They tell us how they set up all the social engineering, how they devise the family, how they crumble the family, how they set up the war machine, how they influence thinking in the family unit to allow the family to give up their children to war for a rich man's fodder. It's a document that discusses the artificial womb. They believe that people need to feel protected and that the elites are going to serve as the womb for protection of the people, that they'll have a place to take cover and hide from the reality of life because we just are not capable of managing the reality of life. So they will set up that artificial womb. It says, the objective of these artificial wombs is to provide a stable environment for both stable and unstable activity, to provide a shelter for the evolutionary process of growth and maturity, survival, to provide security for freedom, and to provide defensive protection for offensive activity. And they say that from the time a person leaves its mother's womb, in every effort is directed towards building, maintaining, and withdrawing into artificial wombs various sorts of substitute protective devices or shells. So they set themselves up to protect us, to keep us crippled, to numb us down with foods so that our pineal gland is interfered with. We're never able to reach our higher consciousness. And right now, the massive fluoridation across the United States is to collapse the ability for us to think. They're shutting us down right now.
They take your baby and make it Rosemary's Baby.
That's exactly right. Right.
It's very similar to The Matrix, which was based on a DARPA document. I mean, it is similar, isn't it? It's problem, reaction, solution, the same way they always operate. So I guess the best thing to do is wake everyone up and hope that a grassroots movement can change it. Do you think revolution would be necessary at some point, or could it change without that? What do you think?
Well, I think we need a revelation, not a revolution. A revolution would only bring in martial law, in the opinion of what we are looking at, would bring in martial law. It would also allow people to be targeted with the weaponry that they cannot wait to roll out on us. You add the drones, you add the microdust, you add in the beam weapons that they tell us they have. They also have a blast wave accelerator. And when you look at the population of the United States, the majority of the population lives along the coastlines. And the blast wave accelerator was a tidal wave invention that the United States dreamt up with the Soviet Union back in the 40s. Actually, it was going to be used in World War II instead of the bombs, but they decided to use the bombs instead. And the blast wave accelerator exploits the methane deposits on the seabed and causes a fingerprintless, plumeless tidal wave on low-lying areas around the perimeter of any country that
Right
they
now
just.
you've got your weaponized Gestapo meter that keeps track of every house and every movement and every bit of energy that you're already doing and can report back to whoever is observing. So we're virtually in a concentration camp right now.
Yes,
In the
we are.
meantime, the food supplies are being reduced. As you're mentioning in your other interview, how the dams are being taken out and the food. I mean, it's so obvious that the federal government coming in and wanting your child even at earlier and earlier ages, every place, everywhere, and it's based on the foundation of climate change, which you mentioned. You might want to get into that and your Iron
That's
Mountain.
absolutely true. All the documents, the Iron Mountain document, even the NASA war document, talks about there are too many people using too much stuff, and the Earth cannot support this. And they've come up with the fear-based, scientific, fraudulent information that people are now accepting. They're rewriting history and they're rewriting science with the idea that people are using too much resources. We have to reduce CO2 and reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. And that is flying through every city across the world right now. It's written into all local government documents, and cities now are, California, for example, with the CARB initiative, where we have to actually pay for the air we breathe, and we're taxed for the air. It's like the fiat money. We've accepted false-backed money, which they tell us in the Iron document or in the Silent Weapons document. One of the reasons that they send our men and women off to war is to reduce the population because they have stolen from them. They've taken real labor service in exchange for illegitimate false fiat money. So they have to eliminate the creditors. That's another aspect of war, is to reduce the creditors. But it's all based on the false pollution that is not false. They've created the pollution. When you look at the Iron Mountain document, you will see the methods in which they were going to create pollution. They even say that they will deforest us, and they're doing that with the chemtrail, the secret chemtrail or geoengineering program or weather modification. Actually, that program has multiple layers. Not only does it increase weather events, we've just experienced some horrific events here in the United States with massive tornadoes that just destroyed a number of cities in Oklahoma. We're being hit globally. They're hitting our food supply. It does reduce our food supply. It will increase the cost of our food. It's changing the pH in the soil, which will then fit to the prescribed Monsanto mega corporation food takeover of the globe. That is the intention of Monsanto, is global food domination. They have the seeds. The seeds will grow in the polluted soil that they are creating. This is all by design. So what do we do about this, you asked? We first must become educated. And I would say that the quickest way for people to become educated is look at these very simple source documents. Look at the Quiet Weapons Silent War document. Look at the Iron Mountain document and the New World Order Exposed 1969. They're all on our website, stopthecrime.net. Of all the research we have done, if you just get those basic documents understood, if everyone understands the fraud, then we will be able to eliminate this. We don't have to go on with this fraud. We do not. And people keep saying, well, there's more of us than them. Well, that may be true. But sadly, now, there are technologies that are so unbelievable that people won't even realize what hit them. And that is the strategy of the future wars and the wars that we're facing in our country. But I would say everyone needs to look at the NASA document. You need to move from the illusion, the non-reality that you are living in. You need to move into a new reality formed by the truths that these documents convey. So that then from those realities, then you can look at solutions. You can't shoot from the hip and look for solutions if you have not learned who's doing this to us, how they're doing this to us, and the documents that tell us how they are doing this to us.
Like the Truman Show, which was designed to create a false reality for entertainment, the false reality we have now is designed to kill us. This is a war against the people. This is why that tabloid came out, Prepare to Die. And they're doing it in so many deliberate ways in which those documents show that it's been in the works for a long time. And you not only see the individuals, which could be kind of identified with the Bilderbergers, the Trilats, and Skull and Bones. They are in the saddle. They are the ones determining policy, the scientific advisors to the president of the John P. Holdren in charge of the chemtrails. We have MITRE with the former head of the CIA directing all these branches of government. We've got guys like Leon Panetta, which is the head of the CIA and the Department of Defense, moving our armies over to NATO and moving without a constitution. This is a direct war against us, and we see people dying like flies now. And like you said, it doesn't have fingerprints on it because of the methods that they're using, but it's as real as people getting strokes and cancer and autism and Alzheimer's. It's so clear. I mean, the stats, the mathematics prove the point. And so they have to know, people have to know what's going on to strategize to fight it. And they can, because the only way they're getting away with this is by the lies. And if you succumb to the mass media, the 3 networks and the 2 wire services, you're never going to get out of it.
Well, it actually says in the document, in the NASA War document, that they will use mass media propaganda. That is prevalent.
CNN syndrome, is that?
Yeah, that's one of the things that they call it. But they're literally going through this document. Oh, they're going to also use explosive dust opportunities. They talk about how, the dust will infiltrate deeply into buried and other such targets. They're saying in here too, if you move, they can see you and you're dead. So the technology, sensors in everything. There is an amazing mission statement that I found on PSI technology out of the Carnegie Mellon Institute. And the mission statement stated that they were changing the global infrastructure to that of computers and technology, and that would include our entire structure, not only utilities, but civil, government policies. And what is also very interesting, we went to Al Gore's recent book review. He wrote a book called The Future, and he talks about how artificial intelligence is going to take over, and that we're going to see changes within the United States that have not been seen in 500 years. And he talks about how it's just not efficient to continue with humans. The same thing. These all tie in. They all tie in. We have a think tank that is plotting and scheming against humanity because they believe that it's too frail. And they also talk about let me pause for a second here. They talk about the U.S. Brain Project, and it begun in the 90s. They say that it was funded by 16 organizations across 5 agencies. NIH, which of course is the National Health Institute, the Department of Defense, NASA, and the Department of Energy. And they talk about how they have over 10,000 individual presentations at annual meetings for the Society for Neuroscience. And essentially, they have redesigned humanity. And there is a fascinating life story of a 4th generation clone called Michael Prince. And that is on our website under the NASA document link, and I urge everybody to listen to this interview.
So we get it. This lady is sharp as a tack. She didn't just watch videos and read books and that document from NASA, the NASA War document that anyone can retrieve on your own. She didn't just read it a whole bunch to where she recited it. There's an intuition inside of her. That's why she doesn't mess up when she talks. There's a flow, there is a rhythm. She's in the stream of information. Although it may have taken that document for her to be triggered and reminded. Mind you, this is all happening. We're going to move on to the second video. Who was it that asked? Trisha's asked, what can we do to get out of this consciousness? Simply recognize it. Just step back and look. I can see. That's enough. In the light of awareness, darkness simply dissipates. This presentation is to empower you. The possibility doesn't mean it's going to happen. Humanity on levels of consciousness are always fighting against the they. We can avoid certain outcomes, different realities. But the likeliness of it is why it came into our experience prophetically in the first place. So maybe we don't need to be pathetically in any place. Video number 2, this is called Project Bluebeam. A fake alien invasion and the potential of a fake appearance of Christ in the clouds. I'll see you shortly.
The infamous NASA-controlled Project Bluebeam exists in order to implement the elite's New Age religion with the Antichrist at its head. Please note that this so-called New Age religion is the very foundation for the New World Order government, without which religion the proposed elite dictatorship cannot be sustained, and this is the primary reason why the Project Bluebeam is so important to them, but has been so well concealed until relatively recently. Significantly, the Canadian Sergei Monast, another journalist, both of whom were researching Project Bluebeam, died of heart attacks literally within weeks of each other, although neither had a history of heart disease. Sergei was actually in Canada, and the other Canadian journalist was visiting Ireland at the time of his death. Prior to his untimely death at the age of 46, the Canadian government illegally abducted Monast's daughter under the pretense of her being in danger from him, in an attempt to persuade him from discontinuing his ongoing research into Project Bluebeam. His daughter was never seen again. As related in a previous chapter, artificially induced heart attacks are a favorite method of silencing people who manage to get too close to the truth, and probably not coincidentally, one of the alleged methods of death that can be induced by Project Bluebeam. Sergei's contributions to humanity are immense and should never be forgotten, as is the unbelievable courage he demonstrated in making public these incredible revelations, which were secretly or anonymously given to him by contrite politicians, military personnel, and the intelligence people who still possess a conscience and a sense of humanity. This man has faithfully exposed the New World Order for the last decade. His children were homeschooled, so the authorities took his 8-year-old daughter away. Then his 7-year-old son was taken, and they said the parents were abusing them emotionally by stopping the children going to a state school. The father was then arrested and spent the night in jail, and the next day at home, he suffered from a heart attack at the age of 46. This brave man has left a wife, who now has no family. Pray that she can get her little ones back. Our source said that the Canadian investigator wrote to her in Australia not too long ago, saying he had been threatened many times and did not expect to survive. An unknown Canadian investigator into New Age globalism makes this claim. Sergei's investigative work revealed that the first step in the NASA Project Bluebeam concerns the reevaluation of all current archaeological knowledge. It reveals the initial setup of the false paradigms by the expedient of artificially created earthquakes at certain precise locations on the planet, of supposedly new discoveries which will finally explain to all the people the error of all fundamental, current mainstream religious doctrines. The falsification of this information will be used to make all the nations of the world believe that their religious beliefs have been misunderstood and misrepresented for centuries. Psychological preparations for the first step have already been implemented with a myriad of sci-fi films emanating from Hollywood, including 2001: A Space Odyssey, Independence Day, and Star Trek, all of which deal with alien entities from space and the coming together of all nations to repel the invaders. The coming together of nations is of course a precursor to the one world government. The popular film Jurassic Park subtly promotes the theory of evolution amid claims that God's words are lies. What is important to understand is that the earthquakes triggered during the first stage will hit many different parts of the world where scientific and archaeological teachings have indicated the arcane mysteries have been buried. As a direct consequence of those earthquakes, it will be possible for scientists to rediscover those arcane mysteries, which will be used to discredit all current and fundamental religious doctrines. This is the preparation for the plan for humanity, because what the elite wish to do is destroy the beliefs of all Christians, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, and Muslims on the planet, as well as the less popular religious beliefs. To achieve this, they need some false proof from the far past that will demonstrate to all nations that their religions have all been misrepresented and misunderstood. The second step in the NASA Project Bluebeam plan involves a gigantic space light show, complete with three-dimensional optical holograms and sounds and laser projections of multiple holographic images simultaneously to all the different countries of the world, each receiving a different image according to the predominant regional or national religious faith. This new God's voice will be speaking in a language relevant to that particular region. Computer scientists have now perfected an advanced computer and input to the minutes physiological particular based on studies of the anatomy and electromechanical composition of the human body and the studies of the electrical, chemical, and biological properties of the human brain. This computer was also subjected to the input of the languages of all human cultures, including all known dialects. It was then programmed to electronically project holographic images and sounds of the proposed new Messiah. This space show's holographic images will be used as a simulation of the fulfillment of each religion or country's desires in order to verify the prophecies and events of their own religious beliefs, and these images will be projected from satellites onto a sodium layer about 60 miles above the Earth. We occasionally see tests of this technology, but they are passed off as UFOs or flying saucer sightings. These deliberately staged events will introduce the world to its new Messiah, Maitreya, as a prelude to the immediate implementation of the New World religion. Enough truth will be foisted upon an unsuspecting world to hook them into a lie, and even the most intelligent will be deceived. The Bluebeam Project will thus purport to be the universal fulfillment of the prophecies of old, as major an event as that which allegedly occurs 2,000 years ago. In principle, it will make use of the skies as a movie screen, as a space-based laser-generating satellites project simultaneous images to the four corners of the planet in every language and dialect known to man. It will effectively deal with the religious aspect of the New World Order using deception and obfuscation on a massive scale. The projected images of Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Krishna, etc. will merge into one after the answers to the mysteries and the revelations have been disclosed. This one composite God will in fact be the Antichrist, who will explain that the various scriptures have been misunderstood and misinterpreted, and that the religions of old are responsible for turning brother against brother and nation against nation. Therefore, these old religions must be abolished to make way for the new age and the new world's religion, representing the one true God, the Antichrist they see before them. Naturally, this superbly staged falsification will result in worldwide social and religious disorder, with nation blaming nation for the deception. In addition, the event will occur at a time of profound worldwide political anarchy and general turmoil created by some manufactured worldwide catastrophe. The United Nations is planning to use Beethoven's Song of Joy as the anthem for this event. It is strongly suspected that the United States government has already developed secret communications equipment which can make the blind see, the deaf hear, and the lame walk. It can relieve the terminally ill from pain without the use of drugs or surgery in order that someone may retain the use of all his facilities right up to the moment of his death. This communications equipment depends upon a newly discovered concept regarding the way that the human brain and neuromuscular systems and radiation pulses at low frequencies. This equipment is now operational within the CIA and the FBI, although it is extremely doubtful that it will ever be used for benevolent purposes because it is central to the domestic political agenda and foreign policy of the elite and their puppets of the New World Order. Elite government agencies and the corporations that are actively working with them towards a new world order are prepared to promote anything that will help them achieve their objective of total social control. The reason for this has already been covered in much detail throughout this book, and is simply because by terrifying the public and causing them to fear for their safety, the masses will then allow the authorities to implement draconian laws, disarm them, and maintain extensive and intrusive records on them. All of their own protection, of course. Secondly, it also promotes the decay of the present democratic form of politics and leads societies to search for alternative methods for political ideology. Of course, the alternative has already been planned and is commonly known as the New World Order, and it absolutely will not have the safety or interests of the 99% at heart. The old maxim, divide and conquer, is being used to the maximum worldwide to ensure that everyone is frightened of their own personal safety and encouraged to be suspicious of everyone else. This too is a form of social engineering or mind control. The day has come when we can combine sensory deprivation with drug hypnosis and astute manipulation of reward and punishment to gain almost absolute control over an individual's behavior. It should then be possible to achieve a very rapid and highly effective type of positive brainwashing that would allow us to make dramatic changes in a person's behavior and personality. This is a quote by psychologist James V. McConnell in a 1970s issue of Psychology Today. The next step in the process would be electronic telepathy, involving ELF, VLF, and LF waves, which will penetrate the brain, interweaving with our natural thinking to form diffused artificial thought and making everyone believe that God is speaking to them from within their own souls. This will then be followed by an electronic universal supernatural manifestation designed to deceive humankind into believing that an alien invasion is imminent, and make Christians believe a rapture is imminent, and that the aliens have come to rescue them, and generally convince us all that global, satanic, natural, supernatural forces and manifestations penetrating worldwide and traveling through optic fiber, coaxial cable, electric and phone lines are everywhere and inescapable. The former Nazi rocketry engineer and father of the NASA space program, Dr. Wernher von Braun, predicted as early as 1974 that the hoaxed alien invasion would be the first threat the world could face after the threat from the Middle East war to come. Dr. Carol Rosen first met von Braun in the February of 1974, and it was at this time, 3 years before his death in 1977, that von Braun stunned Dr. Rosen by describing this plan, point by point, as well as describing in fine detail exactly where it was all leading: planetary control under an oppressive one-world government. According to Dr. Rosen, von Braun then gave her one supreme challenge that would above all thwart his plan, and that was to try to prevent the weaponization of space by all possible means. He explained that failure to do so would lead to disaster for the entire human species, as a secretive, transnational power, already in existence, would move to permanently take control of this planet through a hoaxed alien invasion from outer space. In 2008, the young independent researcher Rick Clay, shortly before his extremely premature, suspicious death, also went public with his whistleblowing investigations connecting the 2012 London Olympic Games with Zionism and the false UFO invasions, as well as their relationship to the so-called coming New Jerusalem, to be ushered in via Bluebeam. The 2012 Olympic symbol clearly spells out the word Zion, even including the minor detail of the dot above the letter I. So what are we to conclude from all of this? There is so much evidence in support of the Bluebeam premise, and if my research has taught me one thing, that would be that there is never smoke without fire where these entities are concerned. There is obviously no 100% proof that all this subterfuge is happening whilst we collectively look away, but given the track record of our lords and masters, it does not take a huge leap of faith to believe that it is all eminently possible. The NASA Bluebeam project is the prime directive of the New World Order's absolute control over the population of the entire planet. I would strongly encourage the watchers to investigate this for themselves before dismissing it as the absolute lunacy it would appear to be upon first watch. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, feel free to hit the subscribe button and give us a follow. And if you'd like to continue to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/whatweknow and become a subscriber. We appreciate your support, and as always, thanks for watching.
So why would anyone, NASA, make this publicly disclosed? Why would they just put it out there? See, because there's only so much universal law that you could skirt. You have to announce whatever it is you're going to do and whoever you are, be it in the Georgia Stones, certain museums, movies. You have to say, I am here and this is my intention and my agenda. After that, it becomes everyone's responsibility to be able to see. There are certain levels, as they say in the movie The Matrix, that they are willing to risk. All they want is to exist. They don't care about the divine throne. They only care about the earthly ones. So why would they divulge that? Because they have to. Otherwise, they would get a lot bigger karmic slap on their little cosmic hiney side. They're willing to take that risk. Tonight is Center of Light, Awaken and See. It's not enough to look. To see, but you have to look. You have to have an intention to want to have something reveal itself. It's loud and clear for me. My presentation tonight was definitely not designed to make you afraid. Hello, Carl Laperouse, I felt you come in. Hello, Tammy Collins. Carl says the red pill or the blue pill. I want deep red. I want as red can get. In fact, look in my house, on my altar, my prop, it's all red, divine fire. Look around, you will see it. They're killing your water supply. You don't believe me? Contact someone in Flint, Michigan. Everyone is aware of Monsanto and the likes. Speaking of Michigan, all the Great Lakes are being drained by Nestle's. There's a power plant and a siphon, or whatever you want to call it, many miles into the woods of all the lakes, Lake Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, Erie, and Lake Michigan. They're draining the water. They don't want you to have it. They don't want you to have good food. But then again, it's not blaming them. It's what we have leaned on the system so much, we expect it to carry us through. But we're no longer living in that time. It's not about them, it's about you and me. I have one that can see. An alien invasion will not happen if they're smart enough by showing up in spaceships and screwing with people all over the world. The invisible borders that are not real at all, it's just an imaginary line in your mind because someone drew a map and put this little thin line to say, this is Tennessee, this is Mississippi, this is America, this is Canada, this is Mexico. How big is that border? 10 foot wide? Can you go to 5 feet into the border if it's 10 foot wide, put 1 foot in Tennessee, the 4 foot mark, and the other foot in Mississippi at the 4 foot mark, and you got a leg in between each state? It's invisible. The map was drawn in your head, and we follow accordingly. Everyone belongs to the earth. Every human being belongs to the earth. anything that is not of the divine will to expand the human experience is one of they. I got one that can see. Be one that can see. See? I love you.